It is Monday, and it is March 31st, 2025, and I'd like to bring the Board of Health meeting to order. We have first on the agenda, Animal Regulations, Subcommittee applicants, and we're going to have a vote, basically. We had a lot of good candidates, very impressive. I thank you for making the effort to be involved, because it's sometimes very difficult to get people involved. But I think in this issue, it's something that we all, take an interest in. Whether myself, I'm not an expert on this subject, but I'm very interested in making sure that animals are taken care of properly. And this is something that we don't take lightly. Board of Health is very concerned about this. Just to set some sort of a direction here, when we came together, I guess I was pretty impressed about the fact that you folks are really sincere about taking care of animals. And we haven't had too many major issues in the past. However, we would hope that everybody here, including the board here, we would hope that you understand that we're trying to keep things, more or less the way they are, not be invasive in anybody's business. But we have to have some sort of guidelines, and that's really what we're striving for. So, on that note, I guess what we did was we numbered candidates, okay? So we're not stating any names, we're numbering the candidates, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And the board here will, we more or less discussed before we came to the meeting. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to vote, pretty much, right? Yeah, Dick. Oh, first of all, is there anything that anybody has to say or ask or questions? Or we're certainly here to answer if we can.
Who is going to regulate these, since we don't have an actual full-time animal inspector right now?
We do have a full-time animal inspector. We found out.
Yeah.
Well, an animal inspector. We do have an animal inspector.
Who is it?
Mo, he's still
Oh,
doing it.
Mo, okay, yeah.
Oh, because last time you guys said he was only kind
yeah.
of partially helping.
Yeah.
Well, he's as needed. Yeah, that's what the job is anyways, as needed.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
It's
small
like
stipend.
Full-time position.
Yes, sir.
No, yeah.
So the animal inspector is as needed, but this whole fiasco is supposed to help put out apparently fires that are just so rampant we have to do all this stuff?
I don't follow you, I'm sorry.
So if the animal inspector is as needed, I've been told by, I've been watching a lot of the videos of the past meetings, and the gist of it is basically that there's been such a rampant wave of problems that we need to just, without asking any questions or anything, just trust one person who spearheaded this whole thing, and that's supposed to help everything hunky-dory. But we didn't, half you people didn't even know who the animal inspector was up to this point. So is there a rampant problem that needs to be addressed, or is it kind of as needed, depending on the issue?
Well, we haven't formally put the job out, but probably it's something that the board will look at.
So cart before the horse then?
Well, sometimes things do happen that way, because
Inefficiently? Yeah.
well,
I mean,
that's your opinion, sir.
No, that's actually what you
No, that's
just
your
said, but
opinion, sir. That's your opinion.
I'm a little confused. He didn't spearhead this whole thing.
Did what?
He didn't spearhead this
No,
whole
not
thing.
him.
Oh,
It was very clear who spearheaded this whole thing, which we're now dealing with.
so I guess where are you going at with the animal inspector?
he's not
No,
doing
just-
his job now, so
I
now
would
we're
be
putting
much,
more into play.
yeah, I'd be much happier talking about an animal inspector to address problems
Right.
as opposed to addressing problems that we may or may not have ever or have not even heard to discuss. But all of a sudden, we're focused on putting the cart before the horse as far as like getting all these applications and legislation, all this stuff through without talking about the health inspector. That seems very out of order.
I guess I'm confused. Any problem that comes up goes to the problem. If nobody calls with problems, we don't know what the problems are. So I don't know what
The health
problems,
inspector's issue.
the animal inspector?
The issue is we don't have the regulations in place that need to be
Right.
put into place in order for the animal inspector to follow the regulations. That's
If there
the
was
issue.
gross neglect,
That's
then
not
it
the
would,
issue.
there's already things in place that would be followed if there was gross neglect.
Right.
We don't need more on top of it, just for the sake of ginning up some sort of application fees or anything like that. We have not had this for how long in this town's founding? And now all of a sudden, we're just on a dime, just gonna flip on that because we're taking some people's words because of problems that may or may not have happened that no one talks about. It just seems a little like off the cuff and very inconvenient to people who've been here or have animals. It seems very insulting to those who've had animals with no problems. The entire time, our family, everything has lived here. And all of a sudden now, it's a 5-alarm fire that we have to take someone's opinion on because they know better than all of us. It's very insulting.
Well, I think this is something that has to be brought up at our own meeting behind, not behind closed doors, but at another time. I think right now, we have to mainly dwell on the subcommittee candidates, so,
Well, the voting technically happened behind closed doors that night.
yeah, well, we can make this at another meeting, probably the next meeting, we'll put you on the agenda if you'd like.
Well, if the agenda has anything to do with not letting this fiasco pass, then I'd love that.
I don't know what you're talking about, a fiasco. I mean, it's not a fiasco.
Well, if that would be a wonderful thing to agree upon. If there was any type of facet of rules or ideas that have been passed, that I've watched in past meetings that have been recorded, whenever the idea has been brought to stick to a framework, and I know it's flexible, and that it needs to be worked and whatever, but anytime there's like a permitting process or like a fine or what the number should be, it always is, yeah, I think that's fair. And then next meeting, oh, I wouldn't stand behind that when people find out how much load of crap it is.
Okay, so you are an animal owner, obviously?
Yes.
Okay,
And I will still be, no matter what happens.
okay, that's fine. How about you yourself getting involved? If you're so proactive about this, let's do it. Maybe you can come and, like I say, be on the agenda, we'll work with you. You can work with us and probably get something done that way, rather than to be angry and
I'm not
throw...
angry.
Okay, but rather than to throw insults like, we're whatever you call us.
I didn't call you anything.
Okay,
I said it was a fiasco.
a fiasco, whatever you call this, I say. Not us, but whatever you call this. And there's no reason for that. I mean, if you want to, we're here to work with you people. And if you want to work with us, I think we'll get a lot more accomplished that way.
Well, that's great, but we already have animals. It's not up to anyone else to tell us otherwise.
But no one wants to take the animals from you or stop you from
Well, it's not
taking
gonna happen either way, so it's fine.
animals.
So, okay, that's fine.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
I have sort of
Yes,
an
ma'am.
adjacent question. I'm Jessica Guyman, 2A Street. About like the animal inspector when they come out like for complaints. I realize that that's the route that kind of flows through, to you guys, like, a neighbor will complain perhaps, about noise or smell or what have you. That goes through, the animal inspector or through you guys. Like, I just wanted to address that process because I think, like, from what I see, that caused some of the problems because I had been visited by a previous animal inspector, like, many years ago. I'm a chicken owner, I've owned chickens for years, and when the animal inspector showed up, like, he actually said, like, oh, we've had complaints, but I was just kind of like hoping they'd go away, so people had started calling 6 months ago, he said, and he was kind of hoping they'd stop calling, and then he was like, I realized I finally had to deal with it, so he came to talk to me, and I was like, I wish he'd come sooner, because if I had known, I would have done something, because my roosters and chickens, they get their own ideas. They were roosting outside in a tree, or on the trellis. I had to once he told me that the neighbors were complaining of them, crowing all night because there was a spotlight from my neighbor's house, so they would crow in the middle of the night because it's they weren't inside the coop. So I literally went out there with gloves and a step stool and brought each chicken into the coop until they learned to go in themselves, because I took the complaint seriously. But, it's just hearing, and I heard from another person in the Facebook group the same thing, that once the animal inspector came, they had said that the complaints had been going on some time before they actually came to talk to the person the complaints were about. So I just want to address that process, could that process of complaints being handled be worked out? It's kind of an adjacent problem, but it's directly related. I think there should be a process, a call comes in, who takes the call, what is done, when is it addressed, how is it addressed? I think that's important.
Corey was he at one time was our animal inspector
For a short stint, yeah,
for quite a while.
5 years, I think,
Yeah.
5 or 6 years I was animal inspector.
Yeah.
Now, the way that works is we had a barn list, so a list of people that was handed to me by the previous animal inspector before that, and those were pretty much the places that I would go to and inspect once a year, like Mo does now. And then, this has been an ongoing problem with just knowing where that person is supposed to go. So every town in the state of Mass has an animal inspector that their job is to go around and inspect animals once a year of anybody who has them. That's just that job. In our town, it's a part-time job. Most towns, it's a part-time job with a small stipend. It's on there somewhere, maybe $900 or even less. I think it's less than that a month. I'm not even.
It was $290 a month.
Yeah, it's pretty, not very much, because it's a
A
part-time
budget,
position.
and it's good.
It's just a small stipend. So yeah, we hope that when there's a complaint, they're not waiting and they respond to the complaint. But even when there is that, there's no regulation to fall back on. There's no rule of what to do in that case scenario, which is what spawned trying to come up with a regulation that was comprehensive, that didn't take anybody's stuff or do anything like that. That wasn't aggressive at all. It wasn't meant to be something to make people pay any money. There was talk of a permitting fee for people who would need a permit. Talk about fines if you violate stuff. There's talk of a lot of things, but doesn't mean any of that is gonna happen or be gratuitous. So it's one of those situations. We were asked to create a regulation because there isn't one, and because people move to town and they ask, what are the rules? And there are no rules except for the one pig regulation. That's the only regulation that there is. And that was written in the 80s or 90s by the Board of Health then, probably in response to a complaint about somebody raising pigs, I would imagine. And we've had a lot of complaints about animals, and the problem is that there's no fallback. And not that this regulation isn't even meant to be a thing where something's bad and the animal inspector says, well, according to this regulation, you need to do this. We're not a right to farm town. There's nothing saying you have a right to have animals in this town. If the state wants to come in because somebody calls the state and complains about the way you're doing something or violating a neighbor's rights or a nuisance or anything, the state can come in and do that, I suppose. We have nothing saying we can have animals either. My thought behind this was more of a regulation that would protect us and allow us to keep animals. And it would allow us to do so because there would be some rules that are already applicable in other aspects of town, like building permits and offset requirements. And if you couldn't meet those, then a special permit would be required. And if you had the special permit, now you have that. So if you're in a plot where you can't stick a chicken coop 30 feet off the property line. Well, now you have a permit that says, we saw your place, you have a good plan, you have a good idea, you can do the chicken coop. Don't worry about, it doesn't, that offset isn't as important anymore. You know, that, the idea was not to, God, nobody wants to take your stuff, man. You know, nobody wants to take your stuff, buddy. I mean, I don't want anybody taking my stuff either, you know? I mean, I put a lot of effort and a lot of time and money into my animals, and nobody wants to take them from me. I don't want anybody taking mine either. So this isn't about creating something that makes it harder for you. It's about creating something that makes it, protects you in your right to be able to do that. And I think somehow it's been misconstrued, that wicked lengthy, wordy document that got pushed out a couple meetings ago. I mean, that probably should have never even been pushed out. That was not even close to a workable document that anybody was happy with. And that, I'm assuming that's what you fired up about, was that document being pushed around. Because that document, I mean, I don't like much of that either. And that's why we decided this subcommittee was the best course of action, to get people that are directly affected by it to take a look at that and rewrite it, change the things that need to be changed in a way that's not gonna hurt people that are having animals, that are doing things right, and help people that want to do things better, and have a way that the animal inspector can come and, you know, we wrote the census was part of that. And that's because the animal inspector doesn't even know who has them anymore. It's like, you used to build a barn, and then, you know, everybody got a permit for a barn, and you would know, and Dickie would go and see your animals, and that was it. And sort of the town got so big that people don't know each other like that anymore. Like, in the 80s, everybody knew each other. It's not like that anymore, where more people, so the regulation came about as not necessarily a means to certainly not take your stuff. It was really to give comprehensive, like, words to allow you to do that stuff versus not allow, if that makes sense. It's a regulation without regulating. Like, it's a, if that makes sense, yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. And that's why we have the subcommittee, to try to navigate that a little bit, was the whole idea.
She's got a question.
I understand the aspect of basically protecting the people who already have animals. We're not opposed to that, but, so, last couple meetings we have discussed, and you said you were gonna look into it, but the animal inspector has not been showing up at farms. So, and you guys said you were gonna look into it, did you? Because now we're gonna be expecting the animal inspector to do more on top of his job that he's not already doing. Because now there's gonna be these rules that people have to follow, but he's only going to complaints. He's not going farm to farm like he's supposed to, checking on these animals on if they're following the regulations. So what's gonna make him do it now when he's not already doing it?
Well, so I asked a few people that I know, and everybody that I talked to, he did in fact go to their house this fall and leave them a slip. So if he wasn't going to your house, it's probably a situation that you're not on the barn list, and he doesn't know that you have horses.
I've been on the barn list for over 15 years now, and he
Wow.
hasn't showed up in like 5 years.
Then I am very surprised about that. We'll have to ask him. Maybe for some reason, I don't know, that line deleted. I mean, it's an Excel document when I had it.
I mean, there were 3 or 4 people in one of the meetings that said that they haven't seen him either, so it's not just mine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not him, so.
I mean, it's good that
And he's not here.
that you asked,
Yeah.
you know, to do this, because, you know, what you're saying basically is I keep a nice, neat
Right. I'm
place
not
for
worried
my
about my
animals.
animals.
No.
I'm worried about my neighbor's animals.
No, but I'm
I know.
saying that's a vote for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There was such a rampant problem with animals that this needs to be created. You said you don't know where they are and things are out of date and everything. Well, if the problem is so self-evident, why would we need more paperwork to tell us the problem that we already know?
They're just trying to form something so they have something to go off of when someone calls and says, hey, I'm moving into Douglas, what do I need to know if I want to have animals?
It's a good
I
point.
get that part.
Also, if there's so many new people coming to town, I feel like this is all effort that could be used to, instead of like protect animals that we already have, that there's always, very competent owners, loving owners. Shouldn't more effort be made to the people coming into the town to describe basically that this is an agrarian town, how things have always been, and that the things on the books? Shouldn't there be more effort put into a plain statement that this has always been a farming town? If it's a right to farm town or not, that's more of a, a technicality. I feel like this is all effort that should be made, doing effort and putting to that, as opposed to saying that, we're not going to take your animals, this and that. But I mean, technically, with the permitting process, you would have to take money. So that is taking something technically. So you are taking something just by doing that.
Well, you got to understand, too, that this town, back in the 70s, it was a full-blown farming industry out here. And now, I mean, we've gone from approximately 3,000, population of 3,000 people to today, where we're up around 10 or 12,000 people. It's made an impact on these issues. We, back in the 70s, that's when I moved here, all the roads were unpaved. Most of the roads were unpaved. So it was obviously not a big issue if people had whatever animals they had. Everybody kind of knew each other and communicated that way. But yes, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to address what you had mentioned, sir. The point of the subcommittee was because everybody was so angry about that document, because that's just not going to work. And that was much more regulating what you're allowed to do. What the subcommittee was formed for, I'm hoping, if I'm correct on this,
Oh, go ahead.
was to discuss ways for us that have animals to be able to protect our
Yes.
rights to have animals. I don't want to say from our neighbors, but kind of from your neighbors, because they can come over and be like, well, this is bothering me and I have rights to my farm, and you don't actually have rights to have your animals there because there's nothing in the regulation. So the regulations that are going in place, I'm hoping the subcommittee takes into advisement that this is to protect us to have them, because we're not a right to farm town, which really wouldn't work for most of us with small properties anyway, being a right to farm. But if you're in a right to farm, you'd be like, well, I'm right to farm, and it kind of blows the issues away from your neighbors. But those of us that have animals that aren't regulated in any way to protect ourselves, I think that was the point of the subcommittee, and throwing out that draft document that did seem a lot more like regulating what we were allowed to have rather than protecting what we have.
Thank you for
So
that.
this
Yes.
subcommittee was formed for that purpose.
Yes.
But again, the animal inspector issue, I think, still needs to be
Yeah.
discussed and addressed.
Definitely, definitely.
Because there's definitely, he's not getting out there. He's not getting out to whoever's on the list. I've been on the list, I'm right on the road. I haven't seen him in years. And I'm not worried about the animal inspector, but there
I'm
was
sure.
recently in, I believe it was Situate, there was 90-something animals found dead. And many of them had been there for a very long time.
That's
So
awful.
animal inspectors going out to properties, I think, is also it's like you had said, ma'am, it's adjacent, but it's really important to look at
Absolutely.
that he's going out and inspecting places with animals and having a list. I think the permit, regardless of the permit fee, just something that people with animals have to write down so the animal inspector knows where to go to check on the animals.
That's the sense. That was
The
the sense.
permit fee, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
everybody
Right,
is very
right.
upset about.
That was the census.
And will likely be.
Right.
I don't feel like that's
And-
going to go through.
and-
But there has to be something where people say, hey, I've got animals, so the animal inspector can go and check
Yes.
on them. But again, this is what the subcommittee was formed for, was that people in the community can come in and be like, this is crap, we're not doing that. Or to protect us, we should be thinking about this.
Okay, Mary Ellen, do you have something?
I was just going to say that we do get calls, and we do have people coming into the meetings to talk about some claims that they have or some challenges that they're facing. I can't say it's rampant, but we address them as quickly as we can. But again, without the regulations or anything to kind of fall back on, it's challenging. If you have really seen all of the videos that are out there, you'd also know that this was a regional.
That's right.
Was a regional plan with the other local towns, and we decided amongst ourselves and continue to work on that we did not want the stringent rules that some of the other neighboring towns had. And that's really the other reason for the subcommittee, to get different people's perspectives, whether they had large animals, a small amount of land, try to work through that so different people with the different situations had a voice. So that it's not rampant. We do have an animal inspector, and yes, that needs to be addressed. But again, under what guidelines? So I think that this is a positive thing for us to try to work together to do.
Thank you, Mary Ellen, that's good. I'm sorry, my mistake. Could you please identify yourself before you speak? I'd appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
Lori Kaufman, 116 Vine Street.
Okay.
I'm just curious, when this subcommittee meets and they start running these regulations, will the public be available to come in? Will they be notified that they're going to be discussed so you can get input across the board? I know you've got a committee that's going to be forming these, but it would be nice to have residents come in, because if this isn't something they're not thinking about, you have a larger community now with different concerns.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We would hope that, the subcommittee would feed the board so we could do that. Okay, so yeah, we would be looking into doing that, yes.
Would there be a public hearing once they're going to be voted on to adopt them?
It'll actually go to town meeting.
Yeah.
Go to town meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, once they formulate a final draft of a regulation, it would come to the board first. We would approve it or send it back. Once approved, it would then go to, I think,
Town council.
Town council first, make sure everything was written, the verbiage needs to be written in, and then it would go to town meeting.
So would it come to this meeting here that people want to come in and hear what the board is voting on?
I think it would before it reached town meeting, yeah, I would imagine it would come back to us. And it would probably be a document that would be,
Yeah, better put together.
right, I mean, before the meeting, it would be just like the last one was. It would be posted in that sense. So I hope somebody took that last one down, because that just caused more trouble than.
Yes, sir.
100 Tatro, 280 Street. So, you said in past meetings, you've worked on this for a long time, you've been, health inspector and everything. So this is obviously an issue you feel passionate about. If that document that you're talking about, you said you hope it's taken down, no one on the board decided that, hey, this is really a terrible document, maybe we should look through it a little bit and see what the reaction is?
I didn't know.
Why was it just a hand up there?
That wasn't even the document that I was going off of. That was already one, that was a crumble of a couple of different things that were put into a Word doc and were just thrown in the meeting, and it wasn't meant to be a thing. We were working through that. I had a lot of notes on it as somebody came up to show me. I crossed out a lot of paragraphs in that thing. I don't really have any, I don't know why it was put out there yet. It wasn't ready for people to see it and get all, uproared about it. It wasn't even close to that point. We literally took Uxbridge and Northbridge and I think one other town and lumped them into one thing, and then we're going through that thing and deciding what pieces of those towns' regulation we liked and what pieces we didn't. And Northbridge is heavily regulated, Uxbridge is heavily regulated, and none of that I was really pleased with. I don't think that document probably should have been made available yet, but maybe because we were discussing it, it had to be. Maybe that's the rule, but it wasn't ready for people to. And that's what happened in that meeting, is I think if we had told people in the first 5 minutes that this is not.
We weren't voting on it.
No, we were changing it drastically still. So that was just misinformation. I think Facebook-driven misinformation, and when you live your life on Facebook, I guess some people misguided sometimes, and it's easy to go down that rabbit hole, I suppose.
Well, it wouldn't be misinformation if you actually put it out there.
Well,
It'd just be calling
Dude,
attention to it.
what do you want, man? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was wrong, it wasn't right. Sorry you read it.
He's admitting it, you know, I mean,
I didn't put it there, I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. That's it. Good talk.
okay, anybody else have anything? Yes, in the back.
I want to start off saying thank you guys for having the meeting.
Your name, please?
James Oliver, 5 Pinnacle Way.
Okay, James, go.
Looking down the future of the regulation, with the subcommittee trying to get more and more people's approval, kind of working together, of making sure the regulation fits for the needs of the town, of the people, of the neighbors. Let's say it goes through, final draft, but later down the line, let's say there's some kinks that still need to be worked out.
No.
How easy is it going to be able to make amendments? Is it going to be a living document? Is it going to be something that would be easy to change, make amendments to, or is it something that would take a lot more meetings to kind of work through? Because this has been going on for a little while. This has been a topic since, what, last summer?
It's been years this has been a topic. We've just been sort of pushing off any actual written regulation for a while. I suppose because of the pushback, you know? Then we just reached the point where I think we decided, you know what, let's just try to make something comprehensive that people can get behind, that will benefit everybody, and maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You know, before somebody does something that isn't the way to go. you
Well,
know?
just the fact that you folks are here tonight, showing interest in making changes, that plays into the whole thing too, because it forces us to, you know, sometimes, you know, we get sidetracked in other areas too. We're not just, you know, Board of Health, with so many things that have gone on in the past couple of years too. But it's great that you people come. I'm happy for that. And it shows me that most people who own their animals obviously take good care of them. And that's what we understand that. I went to Corey's house the other day, and it's immaculate. It's beautiful. He's got his goats and his chickens, and it's just a wonderful thing to see that, and to see the animals almost happy, smiling, laughing. That's the way I look at it, because I'm not an owner. I used to have 2 ducks. I kind of like ducks, you know? But, yeah, you know, I mean, it's a wonderful thing. To me, this is really where it is, and I love to see you people caring, and we want to do things to change things, to make it better for you. That's why we're here, that's why we're doing this. Anybody else? Yes? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just-
Did I cut you off?
No, yeah, a little bit. Just like,
little bit.
what would be the process after, let's say, you know, the regulations go in place, it's all set,
Yeah.
and some people are not happy, and, you know, if you want to make it, it comes down to how can we make amendments? How big is the barrier to entry to do that again? Is it going to be a whole process, or is it, hey, we can easily make an amendment, everybody's happy, it's fixed, or is it going to take some time?
Well, you know, passing through the different offices here in town, that's the process. So if we amend that, if we amend the document, it still has to go through the, you know, that's the way it is. We can't just turn around and say, oh, we'll just erase this and write this in. You know, you understand.
There's a process to it, it's just
Yeah.
how that's.
Hopefully, we can push that process through.
It's not impossible, you know, it's not that hard. Like, if something comes up that's not right, or we notice something later, we can, we would probably go to the town manager, the select board. They would all have to review any amendment that we make before we pass it. We would make a motion, and then they would have to pass it, I think, the final amendment, you know, through. It's not an impossible feat, and it's not even that hard, but it does have to go through channels. It's not us.
Yeah.
Just us. It probably starts with us, but it doesn't end with us.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a process.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Linda Brown, 166 Perry Street.
Yes.
This committee, it gets to you guys, and you all say it's fine, then it goes to town meeting. once it goes to town meeting, if it's voted in, it can't be changed again until it goes back to town meeting. There will be no amendments as back to town meeting. So that's how the process
Right.
works. Once it gets
So this is
voted
what
in.
I'm saying,
Thank you.
it's a process, and it takes that,
It's not just done here.
no.
Right.
Right,
The select board.
yeah.
It's got to be easier than the original creation.
Right.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Angela, 829 Northwest Main. I don't know if you already answered this question, but if the subcommittee comes up with a draft document, would there be a hearing like this that we could all come and hear what's going on?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Before going to the next thing?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think that would be probably after, so I would imagine the subcommittee would approach us with a document that they were content and happy with. We would probably review it, at which point, if there was something that needed to be tweaked, we'd probably send it back, or assuming that it was like, did all the guidelines that we had talked about last meeting, then we would have a meeting, we would have a regular Board of Health meeting,
And then we
where
can
that document would be published.
Yeah, here,
Yep.
and also hear why the subcommittee thought that was appropriate.
Right, hopefully the subcommittee
Okay.
would join us to present that, and we would be able to talk back and forth with both the subcommittee members, us, people who would want to come to that meeting, of course, would be more than welcome.
I think that would be good to put out when the subcommittees announce
100%.
that plan. So people aren't wondering, well, they're just going to do everything on their own and we don't have any voice anymore.
Right, no.
I think that might be good information to put out with the announcement of the subcommittee.
For sure. And that meeting will
That's going
be-
to be the process, that it'll go back and forth between subcommittee and Board of Health. And then there'll be a town meeting to come and discuss the draft that's the almost final draft
Right,
before making it a final draft.
yeah, I would think that's very important.
Yeah, we may, something else, I don't know if I'm overstepping my bounds, but something else that I was thinking about, possibly keeping that subcommittee together, and for quite a period of time where you can feed information to the board, and we can make that process,
That's a
you know.
great idea.
Yeah. So I would like to see that, and that would probably clear up a lot of interference that we have. So, see, this is why it pays for you folks to get involved. It's the most important thing. You know, you have power, you have influence on what we do, and we go in the direction that you steer us, you know? And that's what we're trying to do here. That's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to help you folks out, and I love animals. Like I say, I love my ducks. But, and Corey did inspect my property, and I passed, Corey?
Yep.
I did, okay.
Yeah, those are
Okay. Anybody else?
well cared.
Just quickly.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Will the subcommittee meet in a public forum such as this, or will they meet privately to come up with the?
That would be up to their, you know,
I think they have to. I think Mike said that last
oh,
time.
they have to meet?
I think they would have to be.
Oh, I guess it has to be televised,
I'm not sure,
yeah?
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
I think Mike said that last time.
Has to be recorded, yeah.
I think it was said it was a closed meeting, but or recorded? Was that not?
Or maybe minutes taken.
Oh, minutes was,
Oh, the
Minutes
minutes,
will-
yeah,
taken.
okay, yeah.
I believe he said.
Yeah, so evidently it would be a closed meeting, but with minutes. Is that correct?
I feel like that's what he said.
Is that what he said? No?
That's what I heard last night.
Okay, what,
We'll find out.
I would think it would be televised and it would be an open meeting, as most of our Board of Health meetings are. I think the subcommittee meetings should be open, but,
It has to be posted.
yeah, it would have to be posted as an
Okay.
open meeting. I would imagine.
It just wouldn't be televised live.
that
No.
would be
Be
okay.
recorded.
Right, it would be recorded, right.
You could zoom in if you couldn't attend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything's Zoom now, so I think
Yeah.
that would be the way. Yeah, I would imagine it would be published in, same as we run ours, I think. We know now whether or not they're, I mean, it's up to them, that board. Once that board is sitting here making the decisions for that and working through that document or creating their own document, whether they're taking feedback is entirely up to their chairperson and that board of people themselves. Yeah. that's where we wouldn't have any realm over that.
Yes, ma'am.
If there's so much concern, Lori Kaufman, 16 line, if there's so much concern about these regulations, I would think that the subcommittee would benefit everybody, give transparency if they keep it open. If you close it, people get suspicious.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
What are you doing? How do
Yeah.
we know that we're being protected? How do you know everybody is, concerns are being addressed? And I think to have it closed
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
is detrimental to the community feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, right.
Transparency is very important.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Want to work through this list of people?
Sure.
We're using the numbers on the top, I guess.
Okay.
Bob,
Sorry? Yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
do have some questions.
Oh, go ahead.
Have we defined the scope, not the content of the subcommittee, but the number of subcommittee members? Have we talked about whether it's 1, 2, or 17?
Well, we have candidates, we have, what is it?
There was 12 candidates.
12 candidates?
Which is fantastic that we had that many. I think when we discussed it, didn't we say 5 people?
Yeah.
And I was stuck on 7.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was stuck on 7 people that I really
So
liked.
you see the subcommittee as 7 people?
I think 5 was a good number, but I think more, I mean, you get too many and there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Okay.
So,
So can we agree on that before, go to my next question?
Sure.
How many?
see, so I was stuck between 5 and 7, and I thought 6 was good. And then I was told that 6 isn't good because you end up with a stalemate all the
Yeah,
time.
6 is not good.
That's no way.
Yeah.
Odd number is good.
We were trying to keep it down to, not to overload the committee. And I think you can accomplish more by probably having like 5,
Mary Ellen said 5, maybe with an alternate.
yeah, with an alternate.
Oh, man.
Do we want to make that in the form of a motion?
We would have to do that, yeah, yeah.
I don't know who to, I can't pick 5 out of the 6, so you guys are gonna have to, I've got 6 or 7 people here that I can.
I know, I mean,
Well, it'd be 6, could be 5 and an alternate.
very impressive.
I don't know who I would pick as the ultimate. I'm stuck. All of these people I think would be fantastic, and they
Yep.
represent a pretty good
It's-
variety
It's very difficult, but it's on your
of
shoulders.
folks. They represent a pretty good variety of people.
If you want a motion for 7, I would do that.
Send an alternate, you can do it that way.
I personally, I mean, I think 7 would definitely be the cap. I mean, I think much more than that, and you get a lot of arguments and
Yeah,
disagreements.
yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, if you only do 5, do you get more disagreements on the tail end of that? If there's less people?
7 it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have worries, it's an open meeting, so they can come in anyway and voice their opinion.
Right.
Right,
That
right,
too.
right.
That too.
My next comment is, how many board members are going to be part of that 7?
None,
None.
1 or 2?
none,
No,
At
no,
least 1.
no,
No.
no,
No.
no board members.
No.
I want no part of it. I've stuck my neck out enough. That's it.
What will be reviewing?
no, we decided that
None.
none, yeah,
Okay.
Good.
yeah. Okay, so,
Let them come up to-
yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Angela Rice, 829 North West Main.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big topic, and livestock, I get it's a topic, but livestock and agriculture, there's so many different facets of that. I really feel like a bigger number in this situation, while there's too many cooks in the kitchen, but you gotta make sure everybody's
Right,
voices
like
are-
12 is too many, but
12
7,
But the
7.
decision's between 5 and 7, and we've already got 7 people
Not everybody.
in mind that we really want to have on there. I
Yeah.
really feel like having more strong voices on the subcommittee is a really good idea.
Yeah, you guys got 7 up there.
And if you're not on it, I think you should be at every meeting.
Right, planning.
All right.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I got a number, my
Oh,
people.
we have
Will there
another.
be staff at that meeting to guide them in case the subcommittee has questions? If there's not going to be a board member, will staff be present at those meetings that if there's a question or something?
Yeah, hopefully we have, direct communication with the subcommittee, yeah. It shouldn't be,
Chair, when they're,
I would think that, I would try to attend,
so
the
like
meetings.
liaison type thing?
yeah, yeah. if
Or they
I,
could select a chairperson, among the committee.
They will,
Sure,
they'll
sure.
nominate a
Who can
chair.
be the-
yeah. Yeah, we're trying to make it as even as possible and make it work for you folks, so that's our goal.
So Bob, we have decided that the subcommittee will be open to the public.
Yes, it will be, yeah.
We can
I think, Mrs. Brown, you brought up a good point. You brought up a good point. It's got to be
We should check
open meeting, right?
The number?
open meeting, or how it's,
Oh, yeah, we,
how it's going to
yeah.
go.
You're appointing this as a subcommittee of your board, it still has to be an open meeting and televised.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
sure that's what Mike said. I thought that's what Mike said.
I recommend to check on this before
But
we
we
give an
should
answer.
check. But we should check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm, right, I can't say definitively that that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's right, that it has to be, but we'll check with town council and town manager and Darrell.
And if you, they say it's up to you, I would have it open meeting and televised, or it's not even going to get to town meeting.
Right.
Because it looks suspicious.
Right, right. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's, okay, so,
Now,
Do we
one
have to
other,
vote for the 7?
Bob,
yes,
comment and I'm done.
Don't be done, buddy. Don't be done.
you
Keep
go
going.
ahead, keep going.
I wish there was a way we could look at these and determine who works better in a group. There are people who
Put them to a test.
don't work well in a group. and
They're here.
I have no-
I hope they're here.
I think they all work good in a group, right?
You know, sometimes you get somewhere with a little controversy too. Look how many people are involved now.
Yeah, I know, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I tell you,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of the pressure off.
So just getting along doesn't always get you the best result.
Well, that's
No.
true.
It's not fun, but
We
it's
also,
No, I
we're
understand, but,
still here and speaking up and, you know,
Yeah.
so sometimes they don't all have to get along.
I had a really hard time looking at these applicants and trying to pick. Like I said, I got it down to 6. I had a really hard time.
yeah, I know.
Um,
I sat in
I
the,
think there's a lot of good people
Yeah.
that really want to do a good thing.
The number of 7.
well, maybe we should, maybe we should,
Start going through the numbers. Start at number 1.
Do we have to vote for this number, hold on. Do we have to vote for the subcommittee?
The number of subcommittee members.
why don't we do this? Why don't we each vote for 7 people? Okay? Or 6 people, because we have,
I'm sure there'll
what
be.
are you doing? You doing 7?
well,
I mean,
we
like
got...
writing our numbers down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we could go, all right. Well, number 1, did
Well,
anybody,
what
we
I'm
can,
saying is Mike Fitzpatrick is going to be on it.
well, right, but that's, so he's number that.
Yeah.
So when we get to that number, we could see how many we like, and then we can go back. We can
Right.
get rid of some right off the bat, and then we can go back through. I mean, if we end up with 9.
Well, if
then
we,
can go back
what I'm
through
saying is, why don't we try to pick out,
And try to see whose numbers are the same.
yeah,
I got it.
How many, what do we?
Why don't we just write down the numbers and then go around? I'll just put hash marks
Okay.
and the 7 that have the most hash marks.
That's what we'll go with. All right. Dave's got it. Dave's got
I
it.
write
what's
down,
that, Dave?
I'm going to write down 1 to 12, right? And as we go around and you say your 7 numbers, I'll put hash marks on the 7 numbers. Unless somebody else wants
Okay.
to do that.
No, that's fine.
I understood it, I might agree with you.
You're going to say 7 numbers, and every number you say, I'm going to put a line.
7 people that you
Number 5, I'm
like.
going to put a line. Number 6, just put a line. And then whichever.
So am I going to spout all the numbers at you in one shot?
Yeah. Yep. One
Yeah.
fell swoop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
No, just the numbers that you like.
No, I understood.
Circle? Yeah.
Clarity,
I gotta write-
clarity prevents
I got to write down my
problems.
numbers.
Oh, okay, so it's gonna go around the same list? Oh, okay. Okay, so one
just
list
gonna-
goes, okay.
Yeah,
So that
no, I
everybody's-
didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
She seems like she's a...
Yes, I think so. I had her as one of mine. Number 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got my numbers.
So you
Don't look at my numbers.
Everybody's doing different.
Are
Yeah.
you picking 8 then?
No, I'm picking 7. Isn't everybody picking 7
Is there going to be
numbers?
an alternate or no?
We said 7 total, right?
Yeah,
I think 7 is fine. I don't think we need an alternate if we do 7.
So give it to Bob, he has to.
7 votes.
Oh, we have to vote to make 7? We have to make a motion?
Oh, yeah, all right.
Right?
Okay, Bob, I'd like to make a motion that we're going to each vote on 7 members of the subcommittee, and when every member of the Board of Health votes, I will tabulate the votes, and then the highest 7 of the 12 applicants will be the people we select as the subcommittee to inform the creation of the regulations that they would like to see.
Okay, any seconds on that, what he just said?
I second it.
Lots of seconds.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no opposition? Very good.
Want me to start?
I don't know.
All right, I'll start. All right, I got number 12,
Number 12,
number 10,
number 10,
number 4,
4,
number 3,
number 3,
number 5,
5,
number 7,
7.
and 1 more, huh?
Yep, you need one more.
That's 7. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's got 6.
Let's go number, no boy. 8 or 9, I'm stuck between 8 or 9. Come back to me, please.
You got to pick one.
Oh, man, all right. Number 9.
Number 9.
Go number 9. All right.
Okay. Next.
Not yet.
You ready?
Man, so I got some time.
Nobody's ready?
No.
Oh, man, I was so stuck between.
Here, you want to write my numbers down?
All right, dude.
All right, ready?
All right.
Number 3, number 4, number 5, number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 12.
You know what the problem here is?
Arabian.
No,
Too many good
yeah, that is, that is the problem.
That's the truth.
Man, I
That
spent
is
way
the
too much
problem.
time yesterday looking at these.
You marked one too many for me. Oh, no, that wasn't yours. That was yours. Never mind. You're good.
Sorry, I
Nope,
should have
yeah,
separated them more.
Yeah,
My
that's
bad.
good. That's okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I feel way too much stress for this.
It's stressful.
1,
Number 1?
number 1,
Okay.
2,
Number 2?
3,
Number 3?
4,
Number 4?
5,
These are all your votes, right?
eight. How many do you have?
I have 6. You have 6 votes.
Ah. 12.
Number 12? Okay. Who's next?
This is tough. This is really hard. What?
Good. I don't know any of you.
You weren't part of this. You were on that email, right? That email, but-
No.
Just FYI, I knew that. I thought maybe you didn't know that.
I'm set.
You're set. Okay, here we go.
3,
Number 3,
4,
number 4,
5,
number 5, that's 3,
7,
7, that's 4,
8,
5,
9,
9 is 6,
and 12.
and 12 is 7.
Okay,
Bob, you ready?
we're up, yeah. 3,
Number 3,
4,
number 4,
12,
12, that's 3,
5,
5,
9,
9,
11,
11,
6.
6. 7, that's all 7 votes? Is that all of us?
Mary Ellen, did you? Yeah,
I
you
just
did.
went,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
You did?
so applicant number 1 has 1 vote. Applicant number 2 has 1 vote. Applicant number 3 has 2, 4, 5 votes. Applicant number 4 has 5 votes. Applicant number 5 has 5 votes. Number 6 has 1 vote. Number 7 has 3 votes. 8 has 3 votes. 9 has 4. 10 has 1. 11 has 1. And 12 has 5. So the 5s are 3, 4, 5, and 12.
6.
No, 6 only has 1 vote.
If you had 1 at 4,
Right, yeah, 9 has, number 9 has 4 votes.
and that would make total of 7.
So that's 5. That's 5 people selected so far.
Correct.
Right, so we need 2 more.
I don't
So we
count
have,
well, then do
we
it.
have 2 3s, so that would make 7.
That's it, huh? Who's,
Who is it?
Okay, so.
7 and 8.
So it's, so the highest vote getters are number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 12.
Okay.
I missed 1.
You ready, though?
3, 4, 5,
3, 4, 5,
7, 8, 9, and 12.
9 is what I missed.
That's 7.
Okay.
all right, there's our subcommittee.
Now how do we proceed?
Now we need to regulate, Mike said we should have a set of regulation guidelines that we had tentatively come up with last, for them to work off of. I mean, that document wasn't all bad. There was
Well,
a lot of bad.
I think we should just give it to them and then they
Yeah,
can
well, that's it.
use the
But he
verbiage,
did
not
say-
use it, whatever you
I
want.
did say we should have a set of
Right,
guidelines for them that you wrote.
Right, oh, yeah, so just the bullet points.
Yeah, so I don't know if we should, that needs to be part of the,
Well, like he said, why don't we just hand it to
We're
them?
gonna hand it to them and
Yeah.
just say, this is
what we're going
This
for.
is
That's a
what we're-
good, yeah.
this is what
Let
we're-
them work it out from
Yeah.
there, yeah.
That's right, yep.
I would put no constraints on them.
No?
No.
No, but he did say some parameters for guidelines as far as what
These were the topics that
the topics, right.
should hopefully be
topics.
addressed.
Yeah, so as long as we keep,
What the complaints were.
And then is there a timeline or a time frame?
yeah, he said we should come up with a timeline too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question, because I know at the last meeting it was brought up that you guys would bring up, not the people, but the topics of what were complaints, so that way we knew kind of what we were working with.
So,
Set guidelines, like what the
I think-
complaints were, just as
think-
information moving forward for the subcommittee.
The areas which need to be
Was that what
addressed.
you just-
There
Oh, sorry.
I think one of the topics should be noise.
There's a
Yeah.
list.
Constitution of nuisance violation, that was on there, that was on the list.
So noise should be 1.
Yeah, that was on the list.
Yeah, the sub bullet of them. Sure.
What constitutes a nuisance
Right.
violation?
Noise, smell.
Which, I mean, so as the animal inspector, I inspected noise complaints a lot with roosters, and the solution was always to put them in the coop at night. That was our solution, and that worked
Given,
for everybody.
given one of the problems we've had in the last few years,
what's that, Dick?
we need a way of knowing that the problem is going to be there before it's there. And I don't know how the heck to phrase that,
I know what you mean.
but you know the problem that we had,
Well,
and
yeah.
we get into it
yeah.
after, not
Right,
before.
but I think what we're doing now is addressing that.
Yeah, that would have been the
You know?
manure handling system.
How would it
The
have
manure
gone?
handling management, that would have fallen under that.
Under what?
Manure handling, that's what that problem would have fallen under. That would be part of this regulation, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know, that you're handling the manure in a safe, whatever, I don't know what the word is either, but a safe way. There's actually state regulations on manure handling, which I found later that that person violated.
Would it also be helpful, and I do think we captured some of that in our vote for the subcommittee, is the types of animal, right, village versus, some of the more kind of geographic areas.
Yeah,
To
zoning.
bring zoning, thank
Zoning,
you.
yeah.
To bring that forward. Would that, to me, that's a good way to look at it.
I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
gets at my issue, geographic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because there are different needs, different amounts of land, different,
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Okay,
that would
so-
all be up to them.
Okay, so we have,
Yeah, can we announce the people who?
Sure, I can.
I guess we would
I think
have to. I
Right,
guess
we're
we
not
would
gonna
have to.
talk about them, so I think we can announce
Yeah,
who
yeah.
the numbers were.
Go ahead, Corey.
All right, so if you're here, you're here. If you're not,
Oh, Dick's got something.
Do you want to close the subcommittee discussion and move on to the next agenda item?
Not now.
Not yet.
No, not
we're
now.
gonna announce the people that we voted in for the subcommittee.
Yeah.
And then we'll present to them. At some point, there'll be a list of guidelines. As of right now, I think the tentative list of guidelines we discussed last time were acreage amounts or zoning, max number of animals, what constitutes a nuisance violation, where permits would be needed, if at all, a census of animals and how that would reflect to the animal inspector, animal inspections in general, and then resources, education, and outreach. Those were the key points, I think, that were written down as possible guidelines.
And you'd like to keep this simple, so perhaps all that could be in one sentence.
Shorter the better, I think. I think the problem is you get too lengthy in a document and it loses its...
Way too far.
Yes, sir.
I have to imagine on that guideline list, unless I didn't hear it, what the enforcement would be to try to, force people to, comply to this.
Comply.
So that'd be like a.
We have really no
Yeah, Constitution of nuisance
guideline,
violation.
yeah.
I
What
think
what is
would
it?
be- Constitution of nuisance violation, I think,
Oh.
would encompass some of that. I'm not in the game of like charging people for not doing what they're supposed to, I don't think. If that's what the subcommittee wants to do, then that's, they'll talk about that.
Sure.
And they'll come up with something like that.
You've been on record saying you were in past meetings, even when, before the subcommittee was formed.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
think, I think what it is too is,
I don't
we've
like
been,
charging people.
we've been trying to find ways to do things, and these are things that haven't been addressed for years, and we're trying to address them now. So we're going step by step, yes. We can't do everything all at once, but if you're, if you're not on the, I don't know if you signed up to be on the subcommittee, but if you are or you aren't, you can follow this, you can attend the meetings, get involved, and that's what I'm saying. You'll be heard,
Yeah.
and we'll address those things.
I'm pretty sure in the last one, I said I didn't want to find anybody when Mike was talking about
Yeah, I
possible-
think you kind of, but we're just throwing that out there right now. I mean, but we'll definitely, try to develop a plan, a better plan than what we have. That's what we're doing. Okay? Does that satisfy you?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Corey, you have the,
Oh, yeah, let's go through it. All right, what was the first number? 3. Number 3, Darlene Falcone. We would like her to be on this, join the subcommittee.
who's Darlene?
She here today? No?
No?
Not here?
Okay.
We'll have to email her, let her know. She has been selected. Number 4, that one?
Yep.
Jessica I can't, I'm gonna,
Piedmont.
come on.
Now, you're a high school teacher, you should be able to decipher that.
I tell the kids all the time, I can't say names, I'm bad at it. Yep, well, welcome aboard. Number 5, correct?
I don't know, where's the list?
Yep.
Yeah, 5 is on there, yeah.
Oh, I got it, all right, 5. Elizabeth Burnham, is she in the crowd? No? We'd like her to join. Her application was accepted. Number 6 did not make it. She's a nice guy. Number 7, Christopher Scott, would like him to join the subcommittee.
None of them are here, huh?
Number 7, Chris, you here? Yep. Yep,
Oh,
we got Chris.
okay.
Excellent. Number 8 made it? Yep, 8 made it. That would be Linda Brown. We'd like her to join. I'd love some input.
Yep.
I've got number 9. That's Howard Ballou. Think he would be a good one to have on there. And 10 was a no, 11 was a no, and number 12, Mike Fitzpatrick. I think his zoning background and knowledge about processes would be beneficial to the subcommittee.
Another question? Could a letter be sent to these people
Oh, yeah.
so that they're notified?
Yes, they will be notified.
Yes, yeah.
I think it should.
And how will they know where to begin? There's
Well,
no one from this board on that committee,
No,
so.
no.
well, we'll send out information. I mean, we'll do it as soon as possible,
Yeah,
so we can,
Somebody has to tell them.
right, and then they can proceed, do what they have to do, elect a chairman and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I believe, did we collect everybody's email address? Because that would probably be the best way.
Yeah.
We could include everybody's email address and probably create some sort of an email going out to all of you guys, 7 of you. That way, all 7 of you have each other's emails and you can coordinate your first meeting and start up
Yeah, yeah.
and go from there.
I think everybody's got an email.
Yeah, pretty sure. 9. Howard. Did we have one? Yep, he's the one. Good.
I think we can send them all.
Yeah, I would imagine email would be the best way. That way you guys could communicate quickly via email with each other and figure out what's going on there. All right,
Okay.
well. Here's your tally.
Okay, so we have a committee, we have a subcommittee.
I think we already probably have.
We already, that was already covered in the thing that I.
That was-
Yeah, what he said, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so those were the names.
Okay. Thank you, Dave, for that.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
So we're moving on to the,
Okay, so if we have no other questions yet, oh, I thought somebody was going to raise their hand. It was the coat thing. Coat rack, yes.
Wait,
All right.
Okay. Oh, well,
it's all
Man,
good.
I guess no
It's a
other.
long day.
yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, folks.
Okay.
Next.
We're going to conduct the rest of our meeting here now, so,
You're welcome.
stay if you want.
yeah, you can stay if you want.
Transfer station.
We're not kicking you out. We'll see.
Thank you.
Did you want to vote to close the discussion?
I just want to, no, we're not going to,
We have to close the discussion.
No,
There's a sign-in sheet.
Thank you.
I just want to shake your hand.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Careful, careful. Careful.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on.
They didn't want to stay to talk about the transfer station.
Well, that's how you clear the house, huh?
Yeah.
Right, that's right. Transfer station.
What about budget
I can bring them all
first?
back, ready? Prices are going up.
There's the budget first, right?
We're moving on, though.
We're moving
which is good. That's positive.
Okay, so we have
Forward direction, good.
FY '26 budget, and Kristen,
Nothing's really changed.
nothing's changed. Okay, we,
It looked the same. I was
It really
there.
looks the
Yeah.
same.
But you know what, we were talking, the budget, I think, more is, he told us, like, that he won't be working, like he's...
No, he said he'd stay.
Oh, he will stay, okay. What about budget? Do you think
He's going to stay the same for now.
for now?
I have a chip on his shoulder.
Because it's always a good to ask me.
We'll have to see how much work he's going to be doing. And then,
I didn't want him to.
So he needs to be
feel-
really encouraged to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Talk
yeah,
it
we'll-
down before he left, that was good.
Yeah,
I thought maybe he's doing so. To
Yeah.
hire someone for that money is...
Yeah.
So on that note, does that mean that he's going to be doing more inspection, more?
He has a barn, he's got a
Yeah.
barn list that he gets, and he sends it into the state.
I told Bob we should call him and see, like,
I'm gonna get a list
especially
from
about
him.
that specific
Yeah.
person.
Right,
like,
yeah.
We have somebody that
Oh, I
actually
wrote down,
called you
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That said you haven't been there.
As far as the complaints, like, as soon as I get a complaint,
Well, that's what I was
I
trying
call
to
him
say.
immediately,
We
and
don't let him sit.
I let him know, like, I need to know, did you go there, write a
Yeah,
report?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't really understand,
Yeah.
I kind of don't understand,
So we'll have to look. I mean, he has a barn book, and I used to keep copies, send one copy to the state, and I kept the other copy. So he should have copies of all
Yeah.
of his
But does he have like sort of a normal rotation, or sort of like this is like I do this many a month or whatever?
So when I did it,
I'm
it
not
was all
sure.
in the fall, because you got the barn books in September. They shipped them to you. And then from there, you pretty much have to do it by the end of the year. So you have the fall. It's about a 3-month stint. And when I did it, it was like every weekend I go out and I
Does it have to be done in the fall? Oh,
yes.
I think that's when you get it in
That's when you-
September, so.
But if there are ones on the list that he's already aware of, couldn't those be done earlier, and then it's focusing on the ones that it's
You
like?
could do other ones.
That's
You-
right, yeah.
You probably have to look back at the new barn.
Because they
Right.
send him a barn book.
Yeah, you
Okay.
actually get
State.
a specific state
Oh, okay.
ledger book with
Okay.
carbon copies.
I see.
So unless, there's a new barn built and we're aware of that, it-
Right,
if people just are building barns and having, we don't know. He doesn't drive around looking.
right.
no.
Right, I kind of did.
Yeah.
I kind of looked and found some people who didn't have that many.
I mean, and maybe he doesn't go looking, but I'm sure that if he
Right.
sees something.
Right.
And there was some
Right.
complaints here that seemed like they were very old, though, that were brought up.
From older,
From
Yeah.
older
things that
inspectors.
weren't-
Method.
From older,
Right.
yeah, that's what it seemed
Right.
like to me. And that the idea of them being rampant calls was interesting.
And I would
too.
hope that if someone knows animals are being abused or they're worried about them, they'd call and
I would
act.
think so.
And that would even go to the MSPCA. It would even
was something
bypass
like
us
that.
if it was
Yeah, animal
abused.
abuse.
Right.
Because I've already talked to the state and everything about different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I
that
mean,
wouldn't
you-
even be us. So I would
No.
hope somebody would call on people
I think
that,
so.
if animals are being abused.
But this goes back to the whole, there's nothing to
Fall back.
fall back on,
That's
right? Like,
exactly
so,
it.
And-
and you
We
beat
keep
me
going
to
back
it,
to
but it's
that,
like,
yeah.
other than the no more than 4 pigs,
You
if
know.
you don't have anything to start
Right.
with,
Yeah.
Right.
I can go out
We
there
have
all you
nothing.
want, but I could go, yeah, it looks great, or it doesn't look right to
Yeah.
me, but I can't, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing.
And like, people have to understand, we can't read minds, so if we're not aware of anything, then we don't do anything. But if someone makes us aware of something,
You're on
then we
it.
do something, and we can
There's
only
only-
do what we can do without a regulation.
Exactly.
But I
I
haven't
think some
got
of that, though, had kind of filtered through the need for something,
something,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, this is going to help us in the future, because we've been through some nightmares, I'll tell you, and no place to go.
And
So-
I gotta say, 98% of the complaints are chickens or smell. It's not,
Yeah.
Right.
it's not, yeah.
Right.
And there's really no use for that, though. I mean, no reason for that, because if you, I go back to Corey, I
That is
mean,
preventable, yes.
he keeps his place immaculate, you know, it's nice. I mean, I'd want to be a chicken in there. Well, maybe not a chicken, but...
Goats have it pretty good.
Yeah, goats.
And a lot of times when we get complaints, people will bypass their neighbor, like they won't talk to their neighbor. They come right here and it starts,
Right.
you know, then they get defensive. And if they'd just come to me, I would have,
And let's be honest, how much of it is that's the actual issue versus I'm using this as a indirect way
and
to
that's
deal with
probably
a different issue.
70% of the
Yes.
time.
So
Right.
When I was health inspector, that was a huge,
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons why I
Yes.
left.
that's what I'm thinking too.
And
is
that's what I
that
think a lot of
the other
people
issues that-
are upset about because they don't want
Right. Well,
to lose things because,
as I said at one of the other meetings, like, let them come up with whatever they want to come up with, because I'm sure they'll come up with something very reasonable, but I just think whatever the rule is, that needs to be, that's
Yeah.
the rule. Like,
That's the rule.
like, that's the regulation. Like,
That's right.
you know, whether it's 6, 12, 20, whatever, you know, whatever
right.
it
And
is.
if it gets to town meeting, the town says
Right,
no,
then
then the town
fine,
said
right,
no.
then-
And we move on.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
try.
we can only do so much.
Right, in
That's
10
it.
years, a new board will do the same.
Exactly.
I just think most would say that just having a thing that says you can't have more
Are
than
you
4
saying
pigs
that
is not sufficient
Right,
enough
that's
to have
not-
an informed
Right.
discussion about chickens or horses or anything else.
and the
Are
pigs
you
are the
saying we're
biggest
not going to be
problem.
doing this in 10 years?
You and me both, but
Let's move.
Okay, so,
All right, let's do budget. So
Okay.
budget,
7 more points to go.
all right.
nothing's really changed. We are going to be getting an increase in landfill due to our little issue, but we don't know yet. And Bruce will come talk to everybody once he has some options for us. And we'll have to go to the selectmen and all that as well,
Right, for the
Okay.
spending. Okay.
Yeah.
right?
All right, so we have some backing on that.
Yep. So, yeah, like you can look, the page, this is transfer station, obviously, and the rest is whatever.
Ah, here it is. Here it is.
We're talking budget, right?
Budget.
Yes.
Kristen, would you explain something to me? I
Yes.
got numbers all over the place, I can't get them to add up.
What are you trying to add
Budget,
up?
On the one that lists all of the departments,
Yeah,
the total is, for us, is 136,000.
no, this is broken up. So the Board of Health on the first page is the only first block. Is that what you- This whole thing is in Board of Health.
It's this thing you were talking about, right?
Oh. Yeah, that's only, yeah, it's kind of like all over the place here. So on the general fund, you got Board of Health, Public Health Nurse, and Animal Inspector. Then it skips,
So
flip it over.
There's more?
Yeah, and on the bottom, you have other public works, you have landfill, monitor wells,
But not street lighting.
not street lighting, no.
Details.
So
Not-
just,
not
so
the
just
big issue
well
I'm talking
monitoring and
about.
What are you
landfill
looking at?
maintenance.
This page here,
This page?
it says FY '25 on the box on the top.
This one's a transfer station.
No, this one,
This one.
says that on the top.
Oh, transfer
On paper?
Yeah, you
station
have it, I think,
expenses.
in your hand, no?
Those numbers are huge compared to the other numbers. Oh, I don't understand the difference.
If I could see it.
These numbers aren't in this.
Yeah, they
FY
are a little
'26,
tight,
what are you
aren't they?
looking, I don't understand what you're looking at.
So he's looking
Are you
at,
at the FY '26 budget?
this is just for the transfer station.
Right.
This is things that are not the
Yes,
transfer
right,
station. Right, so
right.
this is not in part of this.
No, this is separate. This is
Landfill maintenance and monitor wells are separate.
separate.
Transfers.
And so
And-
when you add in the transfer station, then you come up with this number?
No,
No.
no, that's just the transfer station. This page is only transfer station, nothing to do with anything else.
And that is that all covered by the stickers?
Yes.
Stickers?
Stickers, yes. So if you look down at FY '26, the last column, that's what the budget is for FY '26.
Is there, where's the sticker total on here, or there's not?
What we, revenue?
Yeah,
No, it's not on here. This is just for,
this is just the
Expenses.
expense, this
Yep.
is the, yeah, okay.
She held it right to the, she held the line, huh? As far as from
When is
last
that
year to this year.
When is that camera system coming in here?
It should be any time now.
Let's say April.
Is it going to be on here?
It is on there.
It is.
It's already done, it's already done. It's already paid for.
Okay.
Yep. They had to tie in from the fire department, it was a lot of work, and the IT guys that are installing it only work Wednesdays. And then there was some other things that had popped up. So they
Nice.
took precedence.
Nice.
Right, only Wednesdays?
Yeah, only Wednesdays here in Douglas, but they're very busy.
All right.
They're on call all the time. But I haven't, I'll see them Wednesday, but it was pretty close to being finished.
Yeah, okay.
Like, we paid for everything's paid for and they started it.
Not to get into a totally different issue, but how is it, have you heard anything about the transfer station in terms of, I've seen the sign of, you know,
terms of-
no sticker, no dump kind of stuff. Have you
Oh.
had any issues
How's
with
the
that?
stickers working?
You know, it's the
Always.
same as it's always been, but,
And
poor guys
that's
down there.
actually a question I have.
yeah, but they,
Those guys down there deal with way more than they should have to. People
yeah,
should just get their stickers when they need them and move on with their lives.
I know, well, that's the problem. It only takes a small percentage of people that will not
And I don't
comply.
get, how did they not realize that if they did street pickup, it would cost so much more money? So much more money quarterly
Yeah.
to have
You know,
Berkowitz put a thing up. I mean, it would cost so much more money for people.
Yep.
They just don't.
We've had a lot of, not a handful, more than I've ever seen, of stickers on cars with the wrong plate number on it. Or they're not putting them on the windshield. Some people refuse to put it on the windshield.
yeah, I mean, it's just,
It's always been.
it's just all stupid things that are not really a problem, but they make it a problem. It's just, and you know, like, you know, Corey was saying, these guys are sick and tired of that, too.
They clearly are.
You know,
So,
I mean, Kristen and Julie were there 2 weeks, and you saw it. I mean, you dealt with it.
with the
People coming in they complain about, oh, it's too much, blah, 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 blah.
2 weeks?
No, you were there 2 weekends, right?
Oh, at the fire department?
Yeah, the fire department.
Yeah,
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 selling stickers.
yeah.
Stickers.
And you get the, you know, the people, they always have to make a little comment. The trouble is, at the transfer station itself, they do more than just make a little comment.
Right, when it's the guys and they holler at them. they
Yeah,
down.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Too bad.
You know, those people, I'd say we send them to Harvey or Waste Management or Berkowitz. I mean, there's a lot of trash companies around.
Yeah. Well, we tell them, you know, you don't have to buy a sticker. Nobody's twisting
Get the-
your arm.
Get the street pickup.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Right. It's a service. I mean, it's,
Okay, well, what do we say?
next one, health agent?
And we got to vote.
Yeah, we're going to vote the budget, right?
Oh, we got to vote on the budget?
Yeah,
Yeah, the FY '25 versus FY '26,
It's like
Yeah.
a $7,000 difference.
150,000 or something
No.
differential.
No, it's, because this was the budget, and this was as of only until March.
Nope, of course not.
So this is like
Yeah.
two-thirds of what it whatever. So these are the two numbers that was the last year's budget, and this is the new year budget. It's like.
What's the difference?
Like $7,700.
7,000?
My quick math, 3,695 minus 360,18. 7,700?
On this, the difference is 150.
I know, but that's only until March, that's not the whole year. That's up until March 31st. It's in size like 6 font, I get it.
All right,
Right? The difference between
Yes,
last year's budget is
yep,
361.8 and 369.5?
Yes, yep.
can you project what it's going to be at the end of the fiscal year? Are the numbers going to be close
Yes,
this year and next?
yes. Well, the budget is what it is. What are you talking about, receipts? Expenses? Yes, it will be close to what we budgeted. We budget, we have to budget extra for like BP and stuff. We don't know what the bill is going to
You
be.
can only project
So
so
we
much.
usually have a little
Understand.
cushion.
I understand.
Yeah. So we
Okay,
might have
so-
some extra.
Yeah, go ahead.
We might have some extra. But then when we forecast for the next year, we have to like
Right.
We didn't,
add some.
we didn't raise sticker from last year to this year.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
So you would like a vote,
Yes,
which means you'd like a motion.
yes.
I mean, is there anything?
I'll make a
Is there
motion.
anything to discuss about it?
No.
Okay, so let's, so, motion.
So you make the motion, and then you discuss.
I know, but is there anything to discuss?
Yeah,
He
is
said
there
no,
anything to
So make a motion
discuss?
and then we, can-
There isn't.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget.
Okay.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye. Yeah. The budget is accepted.
Now
Good.
let's discuss it. We already kind of did the transfer station discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Sticker up, how many stickers we sold?
11:33.
Wow.
1133.
Not bad.
I mean, it's still really busy.
Yeah.
Oh, and not-
This is,
Some of them are
You- you
350,
hear
some
that
of them are
she
the
was-
lower.
240, and some of them are coming back from Florida. There's a lot of people coming back from being away.
so we usually, person, this is around the number we usually sell, right? This is the,
Yeah, we're right on target. Yeah. 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 Like, we just sold out
Good price.
5,000.
Last year we were
Behind it, though.
panicking because there was, remember,
Yes.
for a long
No, we're
time.
good, we're good.
The guy was swearing at Julie and
Didn't.
everything. It was unbelievable.
Okay. The tonnages.
They had to call the chief up.
Tonnages.
Poor Julie.
Look
I
good.
like your beard. It looks
Oh, no.
good on you. Yeah, the guy behind you.
The guy behind me?
Yeah.
Tonnages is doing good. That 9 is the lowest one. And I mean, I think they, sometimes you get nervous that something's gonna fill. Look at the next one. 4 days later, they emptied both of them and they were
Right.
huge. So,
11, yeah.
You get nervous, and I know they do sometimes, like you don't. wanna
Well,
go
sometimes you have to, you have to.
Yeah, like if you got one almost full, you got
Yeah.
one, like you kind of empty one of them, and
Yeah,
it's a guessing game. I think they do a great job.
they do.
I think they're doing a great job, and they deal with a lot of people and aggravation that shouldn't be there. So I'm happy we got the crew we got. I applaud them for their work.
Okay. Moving on,
Yep.
we have
Solid waste company.
nothing going on really, right?
How's the sticker update?
11:33.
What was it last year?
Oh, I don't know. This time last year, we're around about the same.
This here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah, we have to address that. We have to, that's something we've been kicking the can down the road.
No, and
Oh, we
eventually.
get, so, yeah, the solid waste contract.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe,
Somebody from Pratt was in, and they said they went to the transfer station and looked around, and it says single streaming and blah, 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 and,
Everybody always says that. They always say that. And then we have to do something different because we got to set up different because we're not
Yeah.
set up for that. We got to make that.
I'd
and he
like
can
to,
come talk to us. and He's got different ideas.
Yeah.
that
Oh, that's
would
fine.
I
need,
thought we
like, a-
had given it to.
I mean, you never know. To who?
I thought we had like, I thought we had given our,
Last year, I don't
Oh,
have.
you were
Yeah.
gonna look into that for us.
I don't,
yeah, so, yeah, contacted BP to see what their pricing would be.
Yeah. If it's outrageous, I mean, what can we do
But we,
now, at this point?
We are getting some money, so we should have more money to be able to do something in the future.
Well,
I don't know, I'll just keep throwing my trash in until you tell me to stop.
Yeah, I mean, we recycle. I got 4 different bins, or 5 different bins in the garage.
who is the contact person over there?
Gary,
Gary. I should talk to
I
him.
know he was away, I tried to get a hold of him, he was away.
If we can set up some kind of a meeting, with him and any of the board members, just to sit down and discuss something. It won't take long. I mean, only take 3.5 years to,
We used to do 3-year contracts and then
I
not worry
know,
about it for
I
3 years.
know.
We've been doing this 1-year stuff for a while since COVID.
well, yeah, we've been kind of,
Well, then we didn't have money to switch.
Right,
Right.
right. So we've been kind of just bumping.
Yeah.
every year, year to year. And that one guy came in and talked to us about the single stream and what we would have to do, and I think it just became too much, right? A lot of talk. Yeah.
Well, I'm supposed to be getting some numbers from other people, so.
And then I was excited about the possibility of getting a new, right, we were gonna do a new compactor
Yeah, yeah.
for recyclables.
Yeah, but
I mean, a couple of
it's hard because we would have to get, I don't know where we get the money to do that.
Pack plastics, I know we don't have a lot of money, we used to.
We're getting,
We're starting, so maybe in a couple more years, we'll have the money to capital improvements.
yeah.
Can we spend that money on capital improvements?
Well, we'll have money in the transfer station.
Matt had said, I've got it.
He what?
Matt, the town manager,
Yeah.
says, I've got it.
You've got it?
He's got it.
He's got it? What does that mean?
Well, I took the proposal before the Board of Selectmen,
Yeah,
and there were some problems in there, and Matt took it over and said, I've got it. I need to talk with him on another topic. You want me to bring this one up?
Probably bump it. He's got a lot going on.
yeah, he's a busy guy, I mean, I know he
I know
is.
that.
I think you gotta bump stuff once.
No.
I think right now, we have to get something done before what, July?
June 30th.
June
He's got
30th.
town meeting coming up.
Yeah.
Town meeting, it's not the time. But I'll have to talk to Gary.
After town meeting, it'll definitely slow down a little bit. That'll be a
Yeah,
good time
yeah.
to address those kind of things with them, probably
Yeah.
right after town meeting.
Yep, yeah.
I would
think
imagine.
this would come under the heading of capital improvement, and I think the capital money is consumed with the new fire station and the new public works department building, and so I think there's no capital money right now.
Well,
I
not
think
the
that's the
enterprise
issue.
fund though, for the transfer station. Can we use the enterprise fund for capital improvements in the transfer station?
I think we can use some of that money. That's what we're building it up for, to have.
Yeah.
Be able to do things with it.
Yeah, so I think we'll be able to use that
Yeah.
money once it's accrued a little more.
We don't get to pick.
No, we would have to go through, yeah, we're never been able to make the decisions on how to spend that money alone.
Yeah.
We need the Board of Selectmen's approval on most of those sort of capital improvements down there, but I think we can use the enterprise fund, not town money, and the enterprise fund can't be touched by anybody but us. Pretty sure that money is Board of Health transfer station money only.
Yeah.
Problem is, we can't touch it either without their approval, too. Is, from what I remember from the days of, Dave McCullough.
Is there a health thing?
Joe.
Is there a health issue?
Joe Lucino was on the board. and
I know in my previous life, if I had
Agent update?
a 3-year payback, that's a no-brainer.
Was there
Do it.
something?
No.
There was nothing.
but
We haven't had any kind of calls at all for that.
Just like re-inspections.
Oh, yeah.
The easy stuff. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we like, keep it
Yep.
simple.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not
How's the
kidding.
health agent working?
Killing myself.
Haven't slept in days?
Days.
Oh, man. I tell you, when I did it, I felt like it was overwhelming.
No, there's nothing, it's just,
It was
well,
overwhelming.
you know what, we have help. We have it from the state, so
Yeah.
they're taking
Right now,
it.
that grant is doing a lot of work for it. It's good. Good.
Okay, so we have solid waste contract, tonnage, we did that, stickers, update, okay. Nothing going on with the health agent. I wish something would happen.
Careful.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't enough for you? Enough for me.
Okay, moving on. What's BVP, PH, Blackstone Valley?
Partnership and public health.
Yeah, public health. We have one of our agents left, Stacy,
We have a hard time keeping that one, huh?
and so we have
Well, they-
a application. We haven't interviewed yet, but we have applications to fill her.
I think what they do is they use this as a launching
I
pad.
think you're right.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they do.
Skills, get them
That's right.
Have we had any updates just in general on like restaurant inspection?
Yep, so he's keeping up with all the inspections. Everybody's, I mean, a couple of them have second inspections, but
He has experience.
He seems to
yeah,
be
he's
pretty
he's
good,
had
he knows.
very good experience with
Yeah.
food, so he's a good one.
Yeah.
And he's very personable.
Yeah, he
So
is,
everybody
yeah.
seems to like him.
He had a lot of food on that.
So he's
Good.
keeping up and doing well.
Sure the food is safe, that's
Yeah.
a priority.
How often is he in?
I eat, so.
He's here once every other week.
Oh, once a
And once
week?
we get the other person, they'll be here once, so we'll get somebody once every week.
I see.
But right now, he's handling 8 towns on his own.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but he's good. I mean,
Yeah, he's a
so
nice
if
guy.
we get any type of complaints or something, I can request him, or if it can wait till he's here, then I just give him a list of things to do.
Right.
Yeah.
If we
So-
need him, he's there.
He'll do housing and food.
That's great.
So, yeah, he's good. It's good.
Wonderful.
Okay, we have public health nurse.
It's happening, I think.
Agnieszka, how are we doing?
Good. We got so quiet now compared to anything.
Yeah.
It's a
COVID?
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Yes, so still a lot of flu. A lot of cases of flu, but I think it's just slowly coming down.
Yep.
But we see that. So.
A couple of weeks ago.
So last month I went to the MHOA meeting, Massachusetts Health Officers Association meeting in Boston, which was really good. So there were people from all the towns went together and it was really good. Half a day, like almost full day
Yeah.
meeting. Good training.
Where was that, in Boston?
Boylston.
Oh, Boylston, oh.
Yes. And I did my I renewed my CPR today card with the fire department. It's nice because I can go to them and they can help me to renew it. And we have, in 2 weeks, we have the FAB, we have a trail, so we're going to have inspected.
The what?
The trail, the FAB trail, the trial.
Trial?
Trailer.
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 Okay, I'm
That's
following.
the word, trailer.
So they'll come out.
Yes.
Okay.
So we requested, like, there were some funds from FAB, so we requested maybe new tires, just if they need to be replaced, and some, they're gonna come and, if it's a leak, they're gonna fix it. So it's not on us, but they will come and take a look, and
Nice.
and we requested more items for our EDS site, because there is some money from FAB at the end of the fiscal year, so they gave us a list of the stuff we could possibly request. It doesn't mean we're gonna get it, but it has to be approved by the state. But, yes, so that's exciting, because we can get really good stuff for us.
Yeah.
And we are working on it always. We always have a list.
It's good to have a list.
Yes.
We always have a list for the town of Douglas. Yep, so,
Good.
there's always something to do. And we have a FAB meeting this week on Thursday, so we have to go to Worcester, Kristen and I. Julie is gonna cover the office.
Yep.
So it's good to be part of it, because we can benefit a lot.
Speaking of trailers, I noticed that they have put the Porta John out here. I think it came in this week. And it may be blocking your health trailer. You want
So I
to
have
check
to
that?
Yes, well, I can check that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It
it.
may or may not be blocking it, but it looks like it's blocking it.
Okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't be really, if you can't get to the trailer hitch, it's not gonna help much.
Yeah, this is like for the region, for all the towns who need it, so we have to have access just in case some
If it gets
other
rusty,
town.
you'll know why.
Right. Right. Every once in a while, somebody should hook up to that and take it for a spin too, just to keep it.
Yeah,
everything
that's a good
moving.
idea.
Things are not meant to sit, rotate the tires, move it back and forth.
And this is,
Otherwise-
that's why they have so many issues with those trailers, because
they
they're not being used,
You
and
got a nice little machine there.
Yeah.
Your machine,
so
the John Deere.
Yeah.
we have it now, and we'll see what they're gonna do with it.
No kidding. Yeah. It's a good size for that area, too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And the last item on the agenda is the minutes.
And Dick couldn't wait.
Oh, yeah, I think
It's easier for me to show her that
you might have something. I think you might got some.
I don't put my name in it.
Oh,
Can you see what this is right here?
2 dollars.
2 dots.
Okay. Yeah. Can I just take this?
And the same one here.
Okay.
So we can't approve those quite yet.
No.
So for the edification of everyone here, whatever that word meant, I always loved it.
It's really, you can vote with,
With the changes made.
yeah, it's only a F instead of a D,
Okay.
and Dick Skinner's name.
So I vote we accept the minutes from Monday, February 10th, 2025, and Monday, February 24th, 2025, with the amendments of Dick's name being added and the F being changed to a D.
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Nice. Review bills and warrants. Wow, we're still
Okay.
paying tons of money, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Bob signed all these, so
Oh, yeah.
I think you already saw them.
I don't like to look at them.
Just your John Hancock, that's
That's
all we
it.
need, huh?
That's all I need. Just stick my arm in the door.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money, I guess.
Open session. Anybody have anything exciting?
We should do more business with WB Mason, they're paying us.
I returned something.
We should do more business with them. You got anything else we can We can return? find some stuff around here and turn it in.
Oh, boy.
He notices everything.
Sharp as a tack.
He sure is.
I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting
No,
now.
I'm
We
sorry.
need next meeting. All right, I make a motion to schedule the next meeting.
I was gonna,
I think we're all getting tired.
yeah.
We're all getting tired, it's a long one. Monday
Okay.
of all days.
All right, there, gatekeeper, when's the next meeting?
April 28th would be the last
April.
Monday in April.
April, May,
That'd be
September, October?
That sounds good. I think, what is it, the 20th is Easter this year? So- Yes. So 28th would probably be a smart one to go with. I'd like to make a motion that we make the next meeting Monday, April 28th at 6 PM. We need to motion that if we need to do it, right? I'm just going to.
Is it okay, Kristen?
Sure.
We can
Can
go.
we go home?
I'm with you.
So April 28th at 6.
April 28th looks good for me.
April 28th at 6.
All right.
I'd now like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Someone is hungry.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay.